Whether you're new to pool and practicing the basics, or a more experienced player performing drills to improve your shot making and positional play, the Drill Partner is perfect for you.
CBM Construction offers all your construction needs: new builds, remodeling, heating and cooling services, and installation. Give them a call today, 815-716-6727. CBM is licensed, bonded, and insured to provide the ease of mind you're looking for. From start to finish, CBM is professional and friendly as they bring your dreams to life. Bill builds it best. Check them out on Facebook for more pictures of their amazing work. Looking for a getaway retreat? Wanting to live off the grid? We can help you with any of your wants and needs. Custom-built tiny homes for you. Taking orders now. Give us a call and we'd be happy to help you out. 815-716-6727. CBM Construction.
Okay, we're going to do some editing on shortening the length of that video. How are you guys? Hopefully everyone's doing good. Molina Mike here, and I'm riding solo today. Uncle Mike has got some family to take care of. Otherwise, I'd have him on for you. Hopefully everyone is doing all right. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me and see me all right. That little hand that popped up there is my Madeline saying hello to everyone. Move my chat out of the way. Got a new sponsor. Shout out to CBM General Construction. I think they're out of Illinois. Just hopped on last night. I really appreciate them. Got a big month of shows coming up. And actually, it's been going on like that since I've been home, really. And we'll just continue. Had a fun day. The last few days, actually, of just previewing that Cousins and Bergman match. And then I actually got to watch a ton of it last night. And I really enjoyed it. You know, at the beginning, the stream was a little, it was buffering like every 20 seconds. And so I thought maybe on my Wi-Fi, maybe my phone, message them. They were real quick. They said, just hold off. We're holding off the match. And then luckily, once everything got going, it was good for me on my phone, on my computer back at home. And it was just a fun match. You know, a lot of back and forth. I mean, it was more Cousins at the beginning. Then Justin made a run of it, got it real close. And I thought Justin was going to end up taking it. And so, but anyhow, we'll have some more stuff on that match here later on. I'm gonna try to get Darren on, see if he'd be interested in talking about the match, because I saw his Facebook post talking about it, and a lot of other stuff going on in the pool world, whether on the Ultimate Pool side of things, which they're getting going, and then of course the Women's World 8-Ball Championship, which I hadn't really got to watch a whole lot, to be honest with you, yesterday, just because of things going on with the shows, and then I had some things here at the house, and then my girls. So but I'm going to be really taking a look at it over the next coming days. And so I wanted to bring on a guest to kind of help chop it up a little bit. And you guys may know her. She may do pretty good with the cue in her hand. I don't think she needs much of an introduction, but Kelly, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Hey, Mike, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you enjoying things out there at Green Bay?
Well, yeah, the weather's good. I arrived here a couple of days early to get acclimatized and everything. And the table setup is awesome. The venue itself, like last year, is second to none. It's perfect. And yeah, first match out the way, and looking forward to playing this evening and seeing how I can get on.
What's it like for you, Kelly? Yeah, you've been around for such a long time and have multiple world championships in so many different disciplines. But to see 8-ball for you ladies on a 9-foot table, what's it like getting a world championship like that for you all?
Well, I mean, for everybody, last year was our first ever American 8-ball World Championships. I'd never played in another American 8-ball tournament ever, because we never had an event.
Right.
So last year for me personally was my very first. Many of the Europeans have played because they have the European 8-ball Championships, but I'd never participated. So
why is that, Kelly? Now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, good point. I don't know. I really don't know why. Again, it's something that my entire career here in the US, or should I say playing American pool, I had never experienced one professional championship for American 8-ball. But last year was the first. And, going forward, there's going to be a World Championships going forward. So that's a good thing. And I think we should have more events with 8-ball. I mean, it's a great game strategically. And, I think that now the women's standard is certainly, I've watched some matches yesterday and looked around the room, and I mean, they're breaking and running, they're running,
Yeah.
reverse dishing, there's nothing to do with any of that. But yeah, I don't know why in the past not. It was something that I just assumed we didn't have. But yeah, now it's going forward, so it's exciting. For me personally, it's massive because I'm not putting too much pressure on myself, but I've got the 9-ball, 10-ball snooker.
Let's make it
English.
happen, Kelly. Come on, let's make it happen.
So 9-ball, 10-ball. 1 minute. Let me start from the beginning. So I've got
Yeah.
snooker, English billiards. I've got 9-ball, 10-ball, and hay ball. So the only one missing for me is the American 8-ball World Championships to complete the disciplines, really. So
That'd be pretty sick.
yeah, I'm not saying that it's a possibility. I mean, it's a possibility, but I'm not
Yeah.
saying that it's going to happen. But I'm certainly rooting for it, and why not, right? I mean, it would be like completing the package, if you like, completing the package, and it would be a dream come true. So yeah,
So you'd be the first like in American Q sports, because I know there's been talk of like, I think Carlos got the 8 and 9 ball, no, the 9 and 10. I think Shane's got the 8 and 9, but no 10.
yeah,
And so if you were to win it, you'd be the first one, male or female. So that's pretty awesome. And they've
I've,
had a couple of swings at it, and
yeah,
I may add they've had multiple swings at it because they get their 9 and 10 ball. I know the 8 ball barely came back for them as well a few years ago,
yeah,
but that's
that's
pretty
right.
awesome. I never even realized that, Kelly.
Yeah, and Darren, for example, Darren Appleton, he's got the English 8-ball, he's got the hay ball, he's got the 9 and 10. I don't know if he's got the 8, but
No.
he's not got snooker or English billiards. So I think already, and I'm not boasting or bragging myself here, but I think already it's a record to have the 5. Just need the 6th one now to complete the
There we
American
go.
side and complete the whole package. So yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, if it's not this year, I'm certainly gunning it for it every year, and that's kind of the final straw that I would like to get, the
Put on
final
the
one.
career.
Yeah. Complete
It's
the
a hell of an
package.
accomplishment. At least even just being in the position to have that accomplishment, and let alone, like, it's one thing just centralized on the American side of things, but when you think about all Q sports and so many different aspects that you've accomplished. I know last year you got, or was it last year or this year when you got the hay ball
It
one?
was last year. It was last
Last
year.
year, at the end of last year, wasn't it?
That's right, October. I'm going from
Yeah.
here to Rome for the 10-ball World Championships, and then I'm going on to India to try and retain my title in the hay-ball World Championships. So 3 back-to-back World Championships. I'll take any one of them, Mike. But I mean, of course. But if I
Yeah.
could choose one for that reason only, it would be this one. If I could choose one for my real passion, I
Yeah.
would say it would be the 10-ball again, because I won it once and I'd like to match that. That was back in 2011, so that's a while ago.
Yeah.
But again, that hay ball, I love hay ball. It would be great to retain my title. So all 3, let's dream high here, but all 3 would
Yeah.
be great. But let's be realistic. Any one would be awesome, and if not, then there's always next year.
No, I mean, listen, I think, like I said, even just being in that position, there's something to be, to feel great about, and I'm not trying to
course.
give you like moral accomplishments here ahead of your competition, because I know how much of a fierce competitor you are, but still, that's pretty sick just thinking about it. I never even realized that, to be honest with you, and even whenever I was getting you on the show, and even on the women's World 10 ball side of things, I mean, you guys had it in 11, you win, I think 12,
Yep.
Rubelin wins, and then it was gone for whatever it
That's
was, like
right.
10 years.
That's right. Yeah, we didn't have a 10-ball World Championships for I think it was about 10 years, and
Mhm.
now it's been flourishing really every year.
Yeah.
It's good. It's great. Yeah.
How have you been balancing, like, going from, as I got the hay ball set right behind me that I got out there in Mexico, but how have you been able to manage with so many things going on in the world, if whether you're going to the American pole events or like the hay ball side of things?
Well, there's been a lot of conflicts. We're very,
Yeah.
very fortunate that there's so many events right now. The calendar is absolutely chock-a-block. It's full.
Yeah.
For example, right now I should be in, where should I be? I should be
Malaysia,
in
is it?
Malaysia. Yeah,
Yeah.
I should be in Malaysia, representing Great Britain in the Champion of Champions hay ball. I had to choose, so I chose here. And then whilst in Rome, I should be in Poland, playing in the hay ball European Championships and European Open. So I had to choose.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to Rome, obviously, and I managed to make the World Championships, which I'd have been absolutely devastated if not. I may have chose that over whatever, but
Yeah,
to retain my title. So yeah, the fortunate thing is we've got so many events. The unfortunate thing is that I'm having to, and many players are having to choose because we do play across the disciplines,
sure.
and you know, it would be great if there were more days in the year, I think.
Yeah, more hours in the day as well, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But definitely need more days in the year to get this calendar when there's no conflicts. It's a near impossibility. Well, it is an impossibility. Yeah.
Did you think like y'all, just like as a whole, do you think you would be in this position, let's say, 5 years ago?
Absolutely not. I told you before in COVID or when COVID
Yeah.
began, even if we go back to before COVID,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, we had some events, but hardly. We had not that many events going on. And when COVID happened, I said to many friends and to many people, there's only two ways this can go. And my not gut feeling, but my true feeling was that because obviously everything stopped. And I just thought that could be the end. I mean, I already experienced
Yeah.
it with snooker for women, and men. It took a big hit as well back in the day when tobacco sponsorship was banned, and it took years to recover. And with COVID, I said, I don't know what's going to happen, you know, to a point of worry
Sure.
for myself and my
Yeah, I bet.
family and the bills and
You
everything.
make a living doing this. I mean, you travel around the
That's
world,
right.
that's how
That's
that's
right.
how you provide, yeah.
That's right. Anyway, you know, during COVID, we had some events going on and a lot of live streaming events, which was great and fun, but it wasn't paying the bills. And then I remember
Sure.
thinking, you know, when COVID ends, we're just all hoping that COVID would end.
Yeah.
But when it did, it come out like a rocket, and I'm like, wow, this is just you couldn't have asked for anything better, and it's soared ever
Yeah.
since. It's just gone from strength to strength, and we couldn't have asked for anything more, really, to be honest. And that's thanks to a lot of the sponsors, a lot
Sure.
of work behind the scenes from many promoters, and you know, I do think the revamp of the WPA too. It's all come together at the
Yeah.
right time, and it's just rocketed
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of moving parts all over the world, and it's been cool to see.
everywhere.
It's like there's so much to keep up with when it comes to like
Yeah,
big events going on, and respectable amount of money, spread across depending on what side of the globe you're on or what
that's
discipline
right.
you're in, and so it's kind of like as fans, we're real fortunate, but it's tough. I mean, I can wake up in the middle of the night and I can watch things going on in China or in Asia
Yeah,
happening, and so then in this case now here in the States we got y'all's event going on. We got an ultimate pool event going on. There's all this
yeah,
stuff that's happening next week. And then, of course, the next 6 weeks, all across the globe. And
crazy.
continuing to, man, I'm going to talk to Vincent later on this week. I think tomorrow, actually, um, for upcoming and previewing the events out there in Rome, which is another world championship, like you
Yeah.
mentioned. I'm thinking, hold on a minute, you ladies are having an 8 ball now, and then like in another week, y'all got another world championship, a 10 ball coming up right behind it. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Who would have thought? Like in 2 weeks, y'all have in two different parts of the world, no less, like Middle America
Yeah.
and then Rome of all places.
Yeah, and then I go to India for the Hayball World Championship. So I've got three back to back. How do you prepare for that? How do you practice for that? I found myself
Yeah,
practicing 8 ball, 10 ball, and what do I do with Hayball?
yeah,
Because that's on a totally different table, totally different game. So I just
yeah.
focused on the first two. I'm going to India directly from from Rome, and I've got like 4 days. Just 1 second, there's quite a bit of noise. Can you hear that,
No, no,
Michael?
no.
Is
You're
it
fine. I
okay?
can hear you. I can hear
Okay.
you fine. Yeah, yeah, you're good.
Okay. And and I'm going about 4 days early just to play table and to get my arm and the table and the patterns back down because all I've been doing is playing American pool. So yeah, I've got to make that adjustment. And rather than even, I'm in Europe, I could go visit family. I could,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, I could stay and have a couple of days in Rome like many players are doing. But no, I've got
Sure.
to fly directly to India, get my head down and change over to Hayball and get, you know, reverting back to that mentality and that game and feeling the table and everything. So it's
Well, I mean,
great
listen, it's a
problem to
good problem.
have.
It's a good problem to have. Yeah, I was just about to
Yeah,
say, Kelly,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
think like that's really just the credit as to why you've been so successful over so long of your career and continue success, And I remember talking with you last year and you there was like some, doubts it seemed like as far as, your Q action and I know you've been working with Noel
mhm,
but just like to see you continue to have success as a fan, it's great. But like, and then you think about the discipline aspects, it's like mind blowing to me. And I'm curious because like, even though you're used to like you play a lot of hay ball and that's a lot of like 8 ball, so to speak, but like it's a whole different game. And then you come over
Totally.
here and strategically, I mean, the decision making that you're having to do and the way you actually have to play the 8 ball game, pattern wise, whatever, how aggressive you're gonna have to be is night and day.
Totally different. In fact, it crossed my mind not to practice hay ball before this event because I remember last year that I'd come from a hay ball event to Green Bay to play the American 8 ball event, and I remember choosing wrong pattern after wrong pattern, and I'm like, oh, of course, down the rail is
Yeah,
easier than anywhere else on an
sure.
American table. Yet on the hay ball table, you're trying to knock them off the rail and avoid the rail shots. So yeah, totally different game. No comparison whatsoever. Apart from, I mean, you see the run out, I suppose, but again,
Yeah.
totally different patterns. I've not played hay ball since, good grief, since I played in the Joy Grandmasters. I've actually not played any hay ball. Every single event has either conflicted or just impossible for me to get from A to
Yeah, yeah.
B to C. And it's just been too much. Which again, a good problem to have, but
Sure.
I do love playing hay ball. I do enjoy it probably the most, if I'm totally honest. It's like the crossover, the hybrid of the
Yeah, yeah.
snooker and the American pull. So I do really enjoy it. But again, there's just a lot of events are in China. A lot of events that are in China are mixed where you're playing against the men. And that for me isn't really ideal.
Yeah.
So that's
But y'all
why
get a good spot. I like that spot y'all ladies get. You know
I
what I
love
mean?
I
Like,
love the
yeah,
spot. I do.
yeah.
But I don't think it's right. I think I told you that on the interview.
You did. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't completely agree with it. So it's a nice gesture and everything. But
Yeah. Of
for me, women have their own. We're good enough as a whole, and we're prestigious enough,
course.
and we are, the standard is certainly more than good enough to deserve its own championship, its own event. And that's why with the World Championships, we have men and women separate. And I think that's the way it should be. So that's one of the main reasons for me as well. But other than that, like I say, I'll play in every event that I can and really enjoy it.
What is honestly, like, I know you mentioned, the ability to kind of do that triple crown in American Q Sports side of things, but what was realistically you coming over here? What were you gunning for? Like, are you hoping just to like go deep? Are you taking it? Are you going to give me like the cliche one match at a time kind of answer? Like, what's been that preparation and where are you at mentally as far as where you want to be at in a few days?
Well, I always, from being a kid, I go to a tournament to win it. That's
Yeah,
anybody that doesn't really, I mean, I understand, top players, any top player that doesn't come here to win, then I think they've probably got the wrong mentality.
sure, yeah,
I come here to win the event, but then I kind of do it in reverse, a bit like when you're playing 8 ball. You look at you look at the layout,
yeah,
but then you plan it, look going forward, right? Okay, I can play this, but then you do it in reverse. So it's like the other way around. You do it in reverse first, and then see where your 8 ball is, what's the last ball to leave, and then you actually plan forward. And it's a bit of the same thing. But the opposite. I look at of course I'm coming here to win. That's the first thing. And then back to the cliche, match by
yeah, yeah, yeah.
match, shot by shot. But that's all we can do. But the goal is any event I play in, that, it's not, oh, I just want to get deep. I just want to
Sure.
semis will do great. It's not like that. I come here to win. And the day I don't feel that is the day to give up, I think.
How did you do last year, Kelly? And I probably should have looked at this whenever I was
I, I
having you
think
on.
I got to the last 16, I want to say, last year.
Yeah.
Um,
What was that
yeah,
experience like? 'Cause I know y'all it was a big build up. The event itself, broadcasting wise, was phenomenal. I know you had the opening ceremonies out there at Lambeau Field that they set
yeah,
up. And what was all
yeah.
that stuff like ahead of time?
Oh, I mean, absolutely awesome. I've never been to Lambeau Field. Great experience and everything. But again, all that as a player, as an athlete, all that's wonderful. And I really think the promoters do great. And it's all stuff that is important for the event. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when we're here and that event starts and that first rack is broken, it doesn't matter if you're playing in the middle of a field.
Sure. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's one of them, and So it's been great. They've put, like I said, the venue is spectacular. The table setup is great. They're spread out. We've got everything we need. It's a perfect venue, a perfect arena, a perfect setup. 2 TV tables. The practice tables are perfect. So, and to be honest with you, the tables are playing awesome. On day
Yeah.
one and two, when I was here early, as I said, and they were playing a little bit slow because, and that's, it just shows you that the atmosphere, the air conditioning, the temperature,
Sure.
the humidity, all as a part of that. Now they've got the venue's got the AC cranked on, and the tables are playing nice, good speed, not too fast, not too slow, not too slidey. So my match yesterday, I felt comfortable, and most players have said the same thing. So I think you're going to be in for some great matches ahead this week.
Yeah, I saw a little bit. I think I saw a couple racks of Pia's match yesterday, a little bit of Margaret's match as well, and that was probably the extent as far as me being able to tune in. But you had a tough tester opening out. I think you played American Ashley Benoit to open up.
Yeah.
And where's your game at like today? Where's your game at? Or I guess I should say yesterday because you haven't played today. But
That's right.
how are you hitting them?
Well, I felt good yesterday. I made a couple of errors, but again, first match, it's not always nice to get them errors out of the way in the first match. That's what we say. Not to say there's not more coming, because there will be, but no, I mean, I felt good overall. Like I said, the table, I felt comfortable. I felt because we can sometimes have it's playing really slow, it's playing really fast,
Yeah.
and you need to go and practice more and more and more just to get that feeling and adjust. But I felt overall that the table was very consistent, and I was comfortable. Felt like I was queuing good. I felt good, and I did
Yeah.
some good run outs, some good break and runs, some good clearances. So long may that continue.
Sure. Yeah,
And
yeah.
hopefully just keep improving on that. But I'm going to head after this and go and hit some balls, because the matches are beginning at noon, and then we can try and squeeze in between. But they do have 2 good practice tables there, so yeah, I'm going to go and hit some balls, and I play at 7 p.m.
Do you think like how versatile you are and how much you travel gives you a bit of an edge as far as being able to adjust to conditions? Because I'll hear from a lot of players like they they'll get in their own way mentally sometimes when like things aren't as ideal as they would like them to be, And so,
Yeah.
but you are just so used to just being all over the place.
100%. I mean, I do listen to a lot of players too that struggle with, especially with jet lag. And don't get me wrong, of course I struggle sometimes, but overall, I'm pretty quick to adjust with jet lag. That's probably from all the traveling and all the
Yeah.
going from one place to another. So that's certainly an edge there compared to some players that really, really do struggle. Yeah, I think I've always been, how to say it. I've always been quick to adjust to the table.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, it can catch me out like anybody, and it does.
Yeah.
But I've always never been too focused on the table, the balls, the cloth, the this, the that. It's just play, adjust, and adjust as quick as you can, Kelly. And get on with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll continue to do. But yeah, I definitely think it has an edge here and there. But also, does it have a negative with all the travel? I don't know. I feel fine. Am I
You look
doing?
great.
Yeah,
I mean, I
I
was
mean,
gonna say because I mean, you look fresh as can be, Kelly. I mean, you always look great, but I mean, like every time I see you, like you look younger and younger. But
thank
you
you.
would
But
never guess like you're globetrotting the way you are.
yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, I feel great. I don't feel too tired. People must say you must be exhausted. And I'm like, no, I'm all right.
Yeah.
But is it having a negative effect? I don't know. But until I feel it or until I think it, then I'm looking at it like it's not, and I'm enjoying it. And
Yeah.
it's yeah, I feel great. But I'm getting older, so I'm sure that I'm doing it while I can. Put it that way.
Yeah. But and still having a lot of success, I should say, and still on many people's radar to do well in so many events. And not to like jinx you or anything, Kelly, but last time I had you on the show was during that hay ball when you ended up winning. So,
Yeah.
if things repeat this week, we're gonna need to
Then
get you on before the 10 ball as
we're
well,
go-
just to kind
listen,
of keep
Mike.
that same.
100%. If it repeats this week, you're going to be on every single event, even if it's a high. Okay.
I
I'm very
like it. I'm in.
superstitious. I'm
I know. That's what
superstitious.
I'm saying.
I'll be
Yeah.
waving high on every one of your shows if I win
Well,
every time I come on your show.
I'll send you the link. You just tell me whenever you're ready. No, hey, listen,
100%.
you got a lot of stuff going on, and I know you just finished a match like I mentioned yesterday. I think you play It looks like tonight against Jinyu Hong from it
Yeah,
looks like
Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Yeah.
Any experience against that young lady? And I've never heard of her before, if I'm being honest with you, Kelly.
Yeah, I have. I played her last
Yeah.
event in Austria, actually, in the Predator. I played her in that event, and we ended up in a shootout.
Oof,
Um,
okay.
I've played her a couple of times, a few times, should I say? Actually, she's junior world champion. Couple of
Oh,
times.
okay. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
what you're talking about then. Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Great player, great player. Got to be very careful. Well, not even be very careful. You've got to play good to beat
Yeah,
her. I don't know her 8-ball game at all. I've no idea because again, last year was the first one.
sure.
I don't think she was here. I don't even know my 8-ball game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
that's fair.
so I know my 10-ball, I know my 9-ball, I know the 8-ball, but I don't really know this game. We only have one event a year, so it's not like we can
Yeah.
even judge it. So I don't know her 8-ball game. But again, she can pot anything. Her cue ball's great. A great player. So it's a tough match. They all are now. They really are. The standard
Yeah,
is
yeah,
so deep. So I'm looking forward to it. I need to come out of the gate playing
yeah.
well, and I need to maintain consistency and keep my foot on her throat if I can get in front. That's what they say. But no, I
Yeah.
just need to play well. I know that if I don't play well, I'll lose. But if I play well, then obviously I'm going for the win.
Kelly, help me out here because as I was watching as I was looking through the bracket yesterday and today, I was kind of surprised by that race length, and it's going to 7 right now. Is that the way that it was last year? Because to me, it seems a little short, if I'm being
Do you
honest
know,
with you.
it crossed my mind actually when I saw it was a race to 7 stage 1, race to 8 stage 2, and I'm like, did it happen last year? Honestly, Mike, I really don't recall.
I don't
I know
remember
I
either.
I must have played 100 events since then. I don't
Yeah, yeah,
recall. But yeah, I think that it sounds like familiar, like it was. I do remember
yeah,
it being a race to 8. Definitely remember that.
yeah.
I just don't remember if we did stage 1 race to 7. Um, I think so, and just simply because 8-ball's a longer game, it's more
Yeah.
strategic, and I think they were thinking, it's double elimination till the second stage, so obviously they've got to schedule that.
Sure.
Years ago, I was just a player, and I always questioned everything. Why only erase this? Why this? Why that? But now, being on the WPA board, being on the BPF board, being on the Athlete Commission, being on,
Yeah, yeah.
and having my own pool room before with having events, I understand now that to put on an event you have to think of everything. And
Sure.
yeah, players may not like it, and we don't sometimes, but I think that's the reason. Scheduling 64 women, double elimination till the final 16. I think they chose to do the race of 7, and then obviously going forward a single elimination race to 8.
So you got to win the potentially if you're going to qualify for stage 2 through the winner's side, you got to win 2 more matches. Is that correct? I think
I'll, I'll go
if
for
I'm
it.
if I'm
I'll
reading the
go for
bracket
it.
right, yeah, and I know it's still a long ways away, and you got a match tonight, like I mentioned at 7 o'clock against that young
Yeah,
lady.
I think you're right. Yeah.
That race to 7 though, Kelly, does that like pressure wise, just because you don't have that like 8, even 8, I know it's one more game, but like it seems like it's a lot more of you got time, where race to 7, it's like a couple of errors and they get, some success on the break,
Yeah.
it could be a quick match.
Well, I think when it comes to 9-ball, that's where it's cutthroat, really,
Yeah,
really cutthroat. Like we play the China Open, and I really don't agree with that. I've said it for numerous years. It's a race to 7 in stage 1 at 9-ball with a magic rack, and back then, one on the spot. It was just a flip of a coin,
yeah,
simply
yeah,
flip of a
yeah,
coin.
yeah.
Too
With
short a
players like
race.
y'all, it's your
Yeah.
standard. Yeah,
Yeah. Flip of a coin. You could literally go into any match and you could not predict the winner. Simply race to 7, 1 ball on the spot, and magic rack. Yeah, no, that's where one thing I did not agree with. It's still race to 7, but now being the 9-ball on the spot makes obviously that a little bit more intricate. But yeah, when it's 9-ball, 10-ball, 10-ball is okay, but 9-ball definitely the worst one. 8-ball, I think race to 7 again. I don't play it enough to tell you, oh, it's too cutthroat, it's too short.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I look at it like this. We go into it, and for both players, it's a race to 7. And I know
Sure.
I'm actually contradicting myself with what I just said about the 9-ball because that's the same, but it doesn't seem as cutthroat to me, and that's just my interpretation or my feeling of it as such as 9-ball, 10-ball. It doesn't because I don't know. You've alternate break. so you get your chance back if you like, which I know is the
Yeah,
same at 9 ball. I mean, it's hard to explain. The game just doesn't seem as cutthroat because it's a bit of a longer game, maybe. I don't know.
yeah, and there's just looking through the bracket. I mean, there's been some pretty decent, like lengthwise anyway. I mean, your match was like a little over an hour. Pia's match was like an hour 45.
Right.
But for the most part, like it's been pretty. You can tell just from the score line, like the standard has got to be pretty solid out there from what it seems.
Yeah, oh yeah, it is. I mean, like I say, the now you're looking at any world championship, any event really now, and you can go so deep to where the standard is second to it never used to be quite like that. You had your top players, you had your and there was quite a gap between your next and then a gap. But now them gaps have completely closed, and there's so many dangerous players, the
Yeah.
ones that are up and coming, the ones that are working hard and improving, and they come back a month later and they've gone up another notch. And,
Yeah.
it's hard to keep up. I mean, I think, I'm trying just to keep up here, to overtake. I mean, they're young, they're playing hours and hours a day. And it's great for the game. It's the future, it's evolution. And it's all going in the right way because the standard is getting so good now. And I think nobody can say any different, funnily enough, Mike, I watched a match recently of myself playing Karen Core. And I watched one myself playing Alison as well. And it was the Soaring Eagle one with Alison, and it was in China with Karen. And I was looking at the standard of the match. And I'm like, why did I take that shot? Why did I do that? That was a terrible safety shot. I was just going on
Yeah.
my game and like kind of analyzing my game. And I feel I've improved a lot since then. But back then I was winning everything. That
It's
says a lot.
crazy. It's
That
crazy.
says
Yeah.
a lot, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
that's all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say. That says a lot right there to me. I mean, I've improved. My safety play's improved, my kicking's improved. My potting was unbelievable back then, and maybe that's what hasn't improved. It's maybe took a little hit. But I mean, yeah, it's just crazy that my shot selection, my pattern play,
Yeah.
I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I, that's a terrible shot kind of thing. That's a terrible decision. So I feel like I looked and I thought my game's improved so much now. But back then, that's when I was winning. And I thought, that
Yeah.
tells you something. That tells you
Yeah. Of
something
course.
right there. Yeah.
I'd say so. Let me ask you this, Kelly. What's got to work this week for you to be there at the end of the event? Like, what all has to come together for you?
Well, I'm going to get it out the way where we say, you have to have the roll of the balls. I've never won an
Yeah.
event that I didn't have the roll of the balls, where that match could have gone either way, but it was, a slight bit of luck on my part, or they got unlucky on their part, and I got over the line and I went on to win the event. I've never ever come out of a tournament saying, I didn't have some run there. So we all need that on our side. Whoever wins needs that on their side, number one. But more importantly, what you can control is that you have to perform and you have to keep
Yeah.
performing. And the like I said at the very beginning, the consistency that is required to win a match, first of all, but continue back to back. You have to be playing at your A game and consistent. And that is something that if you do lack, you will lose.
Well, see,
So
I can agree with that to some extent, but I think a player like yourself, you got enough skills up your sleeve to where even if you let's say you fall on your B game for a match or two, you can still come out with a win because you're so experienced and you've got so many titles and you've been in so many situations that there's not many players that can say that they've been there like you have, that have experienced that. I mean, you've been through situations, just talking about your accomplishments earlier. It's like nobody can hold a candle to that like you can, Kelly.
I mean, I agree. I know what you're saying, and that where I feel that comes out is under pressure.
Yeah.
So let's say you're playing one of the players. I'm not going to name any names, and it's close to Hill or the nerves are setting in. Yeah, of course, I've got the edge there for sure. Even if the game's been an awful game and both of us have played inconsistent,
Yeah.
then of course I've got the edge because of the experience. And then the new players, they've a lot. Their game is here, but when it comes to certain things, yeah, of course, experience does come into it for sure. And my B game, I can crawl over the line with using some of
Yeah.
them tools, if you like, but.
Sure.
But I do. If that player I'm playing against is playing at their A game,
Yeah.
my B game will not, along with
Sure.
experience, will struggle to win nowadays. So it would take for my B game to be and the experience and them not playing on their top, top game. So for sure, because the standard, like I said, you need to bring your A game pretty much every time now, Mike.
I want to ask you about last year's final, Kelly, and it was a epic one to start off the Women's World 8 Ball Championship. Jessica and Jasmine, and I'm pretty sure it went hill, and I know it's been about a year now, but I'm curious, did you get to watch that match? Because it stood
Oh, I
out to me
did.
last year.
I did. I watched most of it actually, and I was there
Yeah.
cheering when Jasmine won. I mean, I really like Jessica too, but Jasmine's obviously my
Yeah.
buddy. And yeah, it was a great match, exciting. I mean, talk about excitement. Oh,
It was electric,
even
I remember.
even I
Yeah.
was nervous. We were all there was a big group of us all
Yeah.
watching, and it was electric. I must say it was, and yeah, great atmosphere and a great arena, and it really had a great crowd as well. And I've heard that. I think it's sold out for the finals as well this week. So,
Nice.
yeah, I think there's going to be a really big crowd in at the weekend. So that's great for the organisers and the promoter and the venue and
Yeah.
everything. And it's
Of
good for the
course.
camera. Yeah, so it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, I obviously I don't get to watch a lot of women's 8 ball because there's not a lot of women's 8 ball to watch, like I
There's
mentioned before.
not.
But that match in particular just stood out because it was really like on the edge of my seat throughout. And like you,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at home and my hands are getting sweaty and I'm on watching every single ball, and I don't know how Jasmine held it together because that was just one
I
of the most
know, right?
ridiculous endings I've ever seen in my life. And
Me
it
too.
just it shows, like, to me, it shows how what a great player she is, obviously, but also like how human you all are as well,
Of
because you
course.
can like physically see some nerves sometimes. And so as just a ball banger, it's always cool. Like, it's always great to see, not just the robot side of things, and so
100%. I mean,
yeah.
we've had some thrilling matches over the years for all the different disciplines, but that one last year for sure, Jasmine held it together at the very end, and it was so nerve-wracking because the 8 ball it was crazy. I mean,
That
I
last shot
remember.
was ridiculous, if I remember right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So another
But
reason why I wanted to bring you on, Kelly, outside of talking about the Women's World 8 Ball Championship, and I want to bring you on for a while now, was talk about your involvement with the WPA's Athlete Commission. And so help me out here because I don't know a whole lot about it. I know you've been involved with the WPA before in the past as like a player representative, but there's a few of y'all, and I think Jasmine's a part of it. I think Dennis is
correct.
a part of it, amongst
Yep.
others, maybe Kazakis too, if maybe I'm
That's
off
right.
there, but what all are you guys doing? What's that responsibility like, and what are your goals with that?
Well, it started when I was and I am still on the WPA board. That's one thing. And we needed to, I couldn't do it all on my own, represent the entire players, male, female, all the different disciplines. It was just impossible to try and give that support or really,
Yeah.
help all by myself. And I'm playing too. So,
Yeah.
it was a really good decision to put together an athletes commission, which basically is you need equality. This is all part of the IOC program. If you look at other sports, many sports have athletes commissions, and especially Olympic sports as well, because it's a requirement. So that was one thing. And we chose to do 3 and 3, 3 male, 3 women. So it's myself, Jasmine, Ocean, and Rublin Amit. And on the men's side, it's Alex Kazakis, Albin Ocean, and Dennis Grabe. So that's the 6 of us. What we basically look to do is, first of all, just be there for the players. So any questions, any problems, if the money never arrived in your bank from the prize money
Yeah.
payout, if your registration never went through, or whatever, if you've got a question about the format, anything, we have an email address that you can email us and we'll respond. We also have a direct contact with the WPA so we can get the questions answered. But moving forward from that, even like, for example, rule change,
Yeah.
the one on the spot. I remember this was before the Athlete Commission, and I went around doing like a survey because back then we were playing one on the spot 9-ball Magic Rack. And I went around doing on my own because there was no
Yeah.
Athlete Commission then, doing a survey saying what would be the ideal break for male. I did it and for female. And I took all the data and put it together. And the eventual outcome was to use the 9 on the spot. And that's what we do. So I got a rule change just by the consensus of the players. So, for example, we're looking at different things, making sure the ranking point structure, we're looking at streamlining that a bit better, the ranking point structure and the points awarded, etc. We're looking at everything, anything like the payouts, the prize money payout, should I say, the formats, and and trying to improve and be the stepping stone or the link, shall we say, from the player to the promoter to the WPA. We're kind of the stepping stones in between, that we can talk to the promoter and then we can
Sure.
talk to the WPA, and just being there for players and them having somewhere to go with an issue or a problem or a suggestion. Somebody wants to put on an event, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why take that on though, Kelly? Because look, I've been around a lot of pool players, and they're not short on complaints, and they're not short on like having good ideas and how they think things should be. And it just seems like you would be, oh, might have lost Kelly. I was gonna say, it seems like you might be on asking, you might be asking for like a lot in terms of like putting a lot on your plate.
Sorry about
You know
that,
what I
Mike.
mean?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're fine. Can you hear me? Check. I'm gonna send Kelly out.
I lost you there. I got you. I'm back.
Can you hear me, Kelly?
I can hear you perfectly. Can you hear me now?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we
Sorry, I
got
don't
you.
know
We
what
got
happened
you.
there. Yeah.
No,
just-
you're fine. What I was asking is that, like, why decide to take on that role? Because I feel like it just opens up so many
can of
things being
worms.
on your plate. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, good question, Mike. No, it just it was something that we needed on the WPA. Again, as everybody knows, we're looking to bring billiards, to bring pool into the Olympics. That's the Olympic dream. WPA have been really working so hard to try and make it happen. There's so many rules and boxes you need to tick. It is mind blowing. And, this was part of the program that, a structure that was needed as well. And of course, me being on the WPA board as the player representative, then of course it's my task to do it. To be honest with you, it's made it much easier because I've got the other 5 where I can say, can you, what do you think to this? Can we take care of this? Can one of you do this? So it's not really been too overwhelming, other than when you're at a tournament, players are coming to you and,
Sure.
and saying, oh, I don't agree with this, or, what about that? And I just kind of make a note in my phone. I say, look, I'm playing right now, but, I don't mind getting together with you tonight, tomorrow, after the event, or we can do a video call, whatever. And then I just take it to the rest of them, and we kind of do our best to put their voice across and connect, like I said, the bridge between them, really, between the player to the eventual promoter, or should I say, to the promoter or eventually to the WPA, to get their voice heard and see if any improvements can be made on whatever that may be. But of course, there's many things that can't change, Example, race to 7 here, then race to 8.
Yeah.
There's reasons behind it. It's not same with the, Predator, for example, 30-second shot clock. We all want 40 seconds. 30 seconds is cutthroat, especially 10 ball, So even 35, but obviously, there's reason behind it. There's
Sure.
the fast speed, so there's many things that we all, and opinions, so many different opinions that you can't
telling me,
actually
Kelly.
please everybody,
Yeah. It's impossible.
So the job that we have really is to see what is best for the sport, best for the players, but to have a realistic view on it can't just be best for the players only. It has to work for the promoter. It has to work for the sport. Because a player is one track minded. We all can be, and we all are to a degree. Well, that's why I chose the players that I've got, because I do feel that they've had some experience in running events like Jasmine and Albin. They've put on the event in Austria. And I've got Rublin, she's got the Amit Cup in Philippines. Dennis has always been very good at complaining, number one, and he won't mind me saying that.
My man, Dennis, yes.
Yeah, 100% is the biggest
That's the
one.
best line on the show ever, but it's true.
Yeah.
And I love Dennis too. He's a great guy.
I love him too. But
Yeah.
he's also actually very good at finding a solution. I love that, and a realistic solution, not like pie in the sky solution. And then Alex, Alex is just very level. So I think it's a really good combination of players, and you know, a good mentality. We've got the one, you know, the emotional, we've got the level-headed, and we've got the experienced in running events, not just being a player.
Right.
So I think it's a good combination, and we seem to have done good so far. We're working on rankings right now. We're working on different things right now,
Yeah.
and all what the players' feedback have been given. So yeah, and we've communicated with Predator on some stuff. We've communicated with PBA on some stuff, and making small adjustments to get eventually to the ultimate goal. And you'll never please everybody, though. The ultimate goal is to
No,
please
no,
everybody.
no.
It's never going to
Well,
happen.
look, I would between me and you, if it were me, I'd say put them on 20-second shot clocks because I love the fast pace and the
See,
chaos and things like that, you know.
see,
But and this is where, like, 'cause I talked to Vincent from the Pro Beard series, and of course I'll watch Matchroom events and I'll watch Ultimate Pool stuff and seeing their shot clock, and I think it's just from I'm coming from more of like the fan standpoint, obviously, but
there
even
you
for
go.
like the growth of it, I feel like, or at least the potential of growth, because we've seen more traditional pool and where we've gone as a sport. And so, like, just for the sake of let's see what change can do for us, you know, we've already seen what consistency can do in that aspect. And so,
I totally
but
agree
like
with you.
you all, I'm not the one paying, you know, 3 grand before I hit a ball either. You know
That's
what I mean?
exactly, so I was
So
just going to say, you know, I
yeah,
totally agree with you. I love I've always said it, the races to four, the sets. I love it. I love it because I think we've tried races to 11, 9, 30,
yeah,
you know, 13 and so on. We've tried true double elimination and single elimination, but with different races. We've tried 1 on the spot, 9 on the spot, box break, side break, you name it, break. We've tried everything. And whilst I agree, and shot clocks, 40-second shot clock,
yeah,
45 a minute. So, you know, I always said about the rate sets, races to 4, that it's the excitement with a shootout that we've never done. It's a bit like penalty shootout in football, soccer.
yeah,
So, you know, I think that for the chance to break into the commercial world and
yeah,
potential sponsorship
hmm,
outside of the industry, definitely. But
yeah,
as a player, the shootout is, oh, it's heartbreak. It's cutthroat. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's so tough to lose in the shootout and feel good about it. Races to 4, again, it's too short for a player. You know, that's
yeah,
how we feel. Of course, it's flip of a coin. It brings back that. It brings back that. What's the word? It brings back that. Well, basically, I feel that it just kind of evens the game out. You
yeah,
know, I could be playing a player that's better than me, or I'm better than them, but it's an equalizer. That's the word I'm looking for, because that 30-second shot clock, along with the short race, brings down the better players' advantage. It levels it out a little bit. So I feel it's an equalizer. So, of course, as a top player, nobody wants that. The 30-second shot clock, however, for me, and I'm a fast player, so I'm not
yeah.
doing this
You
for
you
my
did,
benefit.
you got the name Quickfire for a reason.
Yeah. Nowadays it's a bit slowing down a little bit, but we'll keep the name. But yeah. But no, I'm a fast player compared to this. So for me, it's an advantage, right?
Yeah,
But I'm watching the game and I'm seeing some wrong decisions, some rush decisions, some executions that's, you know, even from myself, that you've not hit right because you rushed because of the shot clock.
yeah,
And I think that then when you look at the game itself and you look at the standard of it, and you're realizing that it's affecting the standard, you know, the quality of the game, then I want to find a balance there. But I get it. That might not happen because there's
sure.
so many reasons that again we're looking for to improve the sport and get more sponsorship, get more payout, get more money into the
Viewership.
sport.
Yeah.
Viewership. We need
Yeah.
viewership. So
Mhm.
we have to take that into consideration, what the viewers want to. But as an athlete, and when I'm trying to pay my bills and trying
Sure.
to play for the difference of 20,000 or 10,000 or whatever it may be, or even more, then of course, you know, it's one
Yeah.
of them. So as the athletes commission, we have to try and, like, you know, look at it from all, if not all perspectives. We can't just be just the athlete.
Let me ask you, Kelly, because you know you listen. I know what the goal is, and it's a great goal. Don't get me wrong, and hopefully we'll see the sport in the Olympics, you know, sooner than later. But like, why for a player like yourself, you know, you're not at the beginning of your career either. Like, why decide to take this on and have all that shit on your plate when, like, if let's say you're a part of what helps get it to that point, but then let's say you're not competing anymore or not at the same level of competing anymore, why affect the way, like, in other words, why do it now at this point of your career when like you can just focus on playing and you're okay? Like, you know what I mean? You can
Well,
play your best game and be
yeah,
just free.
because, well, I've got to think of my future too. And, when I retire from playing, do I want to just retire and do nothing? Or
Yeah.
do I want to retire and try something else? The
Yeah.
answer is no to them two things. I don't want to retire and do nothing.
Yeah.
And I've not really got a passion for anything else where I could say, oh, I want to take up the piano. I've not got a
Yeah. Yeah.
passion that. So for me, the answer to that is I want to be involved in the sport when I retire in some way.
Love that.
So if I can help in any way with the growth of it, then I've always felt like that anyway. I've always like wanted to see the sport grow and
Sure.
so now is a good time for me to kind of get involved because I feel that we're at the strongest we've ever been, and I want it to continue that way and not go back the way. And if we can help in any way to continue that strength and get it to the Olympics, and if we make it to the Olympics, it's just the difference that it will make on the entire industry. It just will be. It'll blow your mind. And if I tell you how close we actually are, we're not there yet, but we're close to ticking all the boxes and having everything. It's been a task, but
I bet.
it's close. It's close. But yeah, I mean, I think we will do it. I really do. And I'm not saying that lightly. I think we'll get there. But it won't be while I'll be playing. But then, I don't think I'll be playing in it. You're right. So, I mean, I'm looking, will I be a coach? Will I be a team captain? I mean,
Yeah.
I would love to be involved in some way. Like I say, I've not got another passion for something else. So
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
involved in the WPA automatically enrolls me to be involved in the sport and improving the sport and
Sure.
getting it better. So you can't do that and just pick and choose when you want to help. It's you help or you don't. You're on it or you're not. So yeah, I've chosen now to do it, but I'm thinking as well, it's something I would love to see the sport grow, and it's something that when I retire that I can continue to do. That's the best way I can explain it.
It's the best answer and the perfect answer for an ambassador like yourself. Kelly, I want to
Yeah.
get you out of here on this. Like, and because you're not just representing, the women's side of things with your committee, you have both men and women. Like, what would be your message to the players as far as like why they should come to you guys and how they can get a hold of you as well?
Well, we've got a great team of players. All of you guys will know every player that's on the Athlete Commission. We're there. All of us are there to support. They're a great bunch. So if ever you're at a tournament and ever you have a problem, don't hesitate to reach out to any one of us, and we will do our very best to. First of all, we'll guarantee we'll listen to you. We'll do our very best to take whatever it is of your concern or your problem and help figure it out, help sort it out the best we can. And if it's something that going forward that can improve or change, we'll certainly put that to the promoter, the board, the WPA, and so on and so forth. You can reach us. Like I say, normally you see us at events. You see one of us anyway at an event.
Sure.
You're welcome to reach out that way. Or we do have the email, which is athletecommission@wpapool.com, I believe. But check it out on WPA website and also on the Facebook page, and you'll see it right there. And you can contact us that way anytime.
Go get you another world title, Kelly. Go
I'm
get another
trying,
one.
baby.
Go
I'm
get
trying,
another
baby.
one.
I
Hey,
will
listen,
do.
I appreciate your time always, and it's always great having you on. I thoroughly enjoy our conversations, and I'm a fan of yours. I respect you and all that you do, and you just carry yourself with such class and grace and all those things. And so, yeah, just good luck, not just tonight,
Thank
but
you.
in for the rest of the event, and of
Thank
course
you.
for your upcoming trip. So we'll see you soon, and yeah, thanks, Kelly.
Thanks very much, Mike. And if I do go on to win this, I'm getting you next week and the week after. But
Oh yeah,
no,
for sure. Yeah, yeah,
but
no
no,
doubt.
thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We'll see you soon, Kelly.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye,
See you.
everyone. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.